Here we are on the brink of a new year, a new month, a new day. It is the perfect time for a launch. Would you pray with me? Well, God, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of all our hearts ready us for the new year and help us continue this journey of faith together. Amen. Got to get ready now. 2 days. It will be the launch of a new year, 2019. I do not know what the new year is looking like for you. We simply don't know what will come, but some people have things planned already for the new year. Some people are thinking about maybe a new job or a job promotion. Some people are thinking about moving to some kind of foreign land. Some people are thinking about that. Some people are thinking about maybe they'll get a new grandchild this year or they'll get a new car. I don't know what you have on your planner, but I know this, plans are being made for the new year. Here's what I know about my year, the year to come. This is my prognostication. I'm like a psychic. There will be some baptisms. A couple weddings will be scheduled. I have one on my calendar so far. There will be about 50 weeks of preaching. I'll teach a couple classes. I'll visit some people in the hospital. I'll probably do about 10 to 15 funerals. That's been a typical number that I do. I will attend approximately 1 million committee meetings. That's what my year is going to consist of. Unless there's some kind of emergency, I will get to do most of those things. There's going to be some unexpected joys to come. I look forward to that. I can't wait to see what those might be, but they will be unexpected. I know there will be some sorrows, too, as I look forward to this new year. Some people wonder what practicing a faith or living a faith might do for a person. Some people wonder that. I think it helps us to meet all the events, both expected and unexpected. Sometimes we will get visitors from faraway lands like Chicago. It's good to see you. Kim and Hayden and Lena, it's good to see you. So, we are on the launching pad of a new year. We're in the countdown phase. Now, my son is a television, I don't know if I would call him a producer, I guess that's what he calls himself. But one time he got to go to California, or to Florida to film the space shuttle launch. How many of you have been to a rocket launch? I know some of you have. I want to see how many. There's about 10 of you who've been to one of those. That is good. Tell me a little bit about that. How was it? What was the one thing that sticks out for you about that? So she said she was on a boat by Cape Canaveral, right? And she was in a boat and the water was shaking. That's interesting. Somebody else here. Pat, what do you remember from the rocket launch? Holding her breath to make sure it would go. Right? When I was growing up, obviously my age, they started sending up those rockets. And every time they did, and it was on television, many of them were on television, my family would stop what they were doing, whatever was happening, and we would watch together. How many of you did that? Oh, a few of you. Almost all of you. So we would do that, and it was so exciting, and it stopped us. It made us watch what was going on. This is so powerful and so exciting. That's the kind of launch that I loved. Powerful. dreams being dreamed. Anything could happen. Amazing things were happening in this launch. Now, there are different kinds of launches, of course, and I'm going to talk about some today. Some of you have launched your own businesses. Some of you have been parts of new product launches. I've been a part of a couple of those. Failed. Some of you have launched into a new school year with a whole new class of students. Lots of different kinds of launches. There are good launches and bad launches. I tried to go water skiing one time. Now, I don't know how to swim. And so you can imagine, it was on the Missouri River. My friend said, "This is easy. It's not a problem. You'll be fine." They put 2 life jackets on me. I was going to be fine. I was supposed to put my feet into the skis and then supposed to say, "Hit it." Those were the 2 hardest words I think I've ever said in my life. But they hit it, and the boat jumped forward, and I went straight onto my face. Bad launch. That launch failed. There are those kinds of launches that are powerful, explosive, lots of energy around them. But sometimes a launch is smoother, like launching a canoe onto a still lake. How many of you have done that? A number of you. Some of you have launched children into their lives. Some people push their children away. It's a terrible launch. Those children never look back, or if they do, they see their parents with resentful eyes. Not a good launch. It's been my experience that so many of the folks who've come to ask for emergency help from me because they had nobody and nothing in their lives to fall back on were victims of bad launches from parents. Not all the time, but many, many times that's been the case. Some people will launch their kids into their lives, and those kids will come back, and they'll keep coming back with grandkids or great-grandkids. Those are good launches. Happy returns. You know families like that too, I'm sure. This story in the Gospel of Luke strikes me as a story of a launch. Joseph and Mary take the baby up to the temple. It is a tradition. They want a good launch, a special launch for this special child. And isn't every baby a special child? Isn't every baby a special child? Absolutely. So that's what happens in the naming ceremony or in a christening or a baptism or a circumcision or a dedication. The baby is being launched into the world in a new way. And so happens that Simeon and Anna are there, and Simeon and Anna are 2 elders. We don't know anything else about them. They are what we call flat characters. Like I said, we don't know anything else about them. But they say important things about this baby of Joseph's and Mary's. The late Presbyterian pastor, poet, David Steele, wrote about Simeon. He said this. He recalled in his seminary career, somewhere along the way, that Simeon and Anna go back and forth to the temple every day in their final years, pronouncing the very same blessing over every baby. They pronounce the same blessing over every baby. That stopped me and struck me. Because if that's true, and just imagine that it might be true for a minute, that every baby comes up there and Simeon and Anna take that baby and say, "You are the redemption of Israel. You are the light of the world." What would happen if that, oh my God. So I thought about that piece. And I thought about the way that we welcome babies here in our church. Because it's exciting when we have babies, isn't it? And some people want to hold them. That last baby that I had was 6 weeks old, and I could not remember, I barely remember being able to hold a 6-week-old baby. And I can't even imagine now a 6-day-old baby or 6-hour-old baby. Babies are tiny and wiggly. I love that idea of pronouncing the very same blessing over all the babies. It's meant to be funny, but then suddenly Steele says this. When I read the blessing and thought about it, I began to wish Simeon and Anna were right about Jesus and those babies. And I began thinking about our babies, and I wish someone, some Simeon, some Anna might hold my grandbabies high and yours, the born ones and the not yet, proclaiming to them with great conviction, you are the saviors of the world, meaning it so absolutely that those young ones would live it and love it and make it happen. Just a couple of old people, Simeon and Anna, never heard from again in the Bible. It says to me that we still have something to give to the children among us, no matter what age we are, a blessing. Someone said this, let no one be discouraged by the belief that there is nothing one man or one woman can do against the enormous array of the world's ills, against misery and ignorance, injustice and violence. Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. And in the total of all those acts, will be written the history of our generation. Robert F. Kennedy. We have such a gift here. We have such a gift here to be able to do that for our young people, to bolster them and to give them some kind of launching pad from which to move out into the world. And sometimes they'll even come back and visit. Oh, I hope that we can do that. Would you commit to helping me do that this year for the young people here in this church? Would you be the Simeons and Annas in our church? Okay. Amen.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful.